food of our flags and family. Today we're going to be cooking some corned beef and cabbage and a drink pairing of an old fashioned, of course, with a twist. Here's what we're going to need today. The first thing you're going to want to do is set your oven to 350. This is going to be for the cabbage. We're not going to cook it today with the corned beef. You're going to want to take your corned beef out of the package and you're going to want to rinse it off with all that gelatinous mess that comes with it, and take the pickling and put that to the side while you're rinsing it out really well, and only use cold water. You can also use lemon juice or white vinegar if you prefer. So now that you've rinsed off your corned beef, you're going to want to take your red potatoes, and I have something from Norwex that I use that actually scrubs it clean, so that way you don't have to lose as much of the fiber and stuff that the skin provides you. And you want to take those and you're going to want to quarter them. And you're going to lay them in the bottom of the pot to serve as your trivet, or the rack thing that I didn't know what it used to be called until I found that it was called a trivet. So use the corned beef on it like a cradle, and that way it's going to get all of this water and cup of chicken stock flavoring that they need to get and absorb all those flavors. After you put your potatoes into the pressure cooker, you want to take about a teaspoon of kosher salt and drizzle it on top of the potatoes. And then you're going to take your fresh pepper grinder, if I can get it open, and you're going to turn that about 6 times. Now first you're going to half your cabbage. When you half it, you're going to want to half each side again, so that you can get the center out of here, because you definitely don't want to eat that. And it's kind of going to be like a triangular cut. Then you're going to want to take one piece and you're going to just want to shred a quarter of that cabbage to set at the bottom with the potatoes. Cover your pressure cooker, and you're going to want to put it on whatever your high heat setting is. Mine for the Pressure Excel is going to be the meat setting, and I'm going to let that cook, come to pressure and everything. It's going to cook a total of 15 minutes after it comes to pressure. And then once that's done, you're going to release that, and then we're going to add our brisket. While your potatoes are cooking in the pressure cooker and your oven's already on 350, you're going to get a cast iron pot. If you don't have one, it's okay. Just use a pot to bake, but first, to cook your cabbage, you're going to have to use some sort of pot that can stand that type of heat. And then if you want, you can transfer it into some sort of baking pan, because it's going to go in the oven. Grab a stick of butter and put it at the bottom of the pot. I use unsalted butter. You can also use ghee. The only reason why I'm not using the ghee is because it's really expensive and it takes a lot of it for me to put in the pot. Once your butter's melted, you're going to take your onions and throw them into the pot of melting butter. This is what fennel looks like. It usually has a bunch of sprigs. It kind of resembles celery. You're going to take that and you're going to slice that real fine. Now, just like your cabbage, the fennel is also going to have a heart, so you're going to need to core that out and get rid of it. You don't want to cook with that. It's pretty tough to eat. And you just want a small sized fennel. If all you have is large, just cut it down to where you're only using half of it, like you can see I did with ours here. And you're going to cook that till it gets softened and mildly translucent. A teaspoon of salt and black pepper. Now the reason why mine looks a little different, I've already mixed in a teaspoon of thyme and a teaspoon of fennel. Normally you would add that in at the next step, but I just throw mine all together. You're gonna wanna add garlic. I use the stuff I picked up in Puerto Rico, which is amazing. It's a ajo and it has turmeric in it. 2 tablespoons of this. Just to really add some really good flavor. You can smell this, it smells so good. It's delicious. I'm not big on cabbage, but this is not your ordinary cabbage. So while your cabbage is cooking, you're gonna wanna take 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and put them in a separate bowl or measuring cup. And then you're gonna wanna take 1 cup of drinking wine. Dry wine, Riesling wine, whatever kind of wine, whatever brand you like. It's just something that you do enjoy drinking or people enjoy drinking. And then you're gonna wanna take 1 cup of rice vinegar, or you can use white wine vinegar, and you're gonna mix it in here with the tomato paste. Once you do that, you're just gonna whisk it till there's no lumps. Once you're done whisking, you're gonna pour the ingredients into the pot and let it render by half at least, so it can thicken. And I've already added some red pepper flakes, but you take a teaspoon of red pepper flakes if you like a little bit of a kick, or you can use some Thai chili peppers, which is really good too. But I would only use about 2 depending on the spice that you like. Again, it's always what it is to your palate, not to ours.
Wow!
Now back to our corned beef. So I let this slow release. Oh, it looks amazing, smells amazing. Come and take a look at this. Next, you're gonna wanna take about 6 cloves of garlic and throw that in there. But I use minced, you can use fresh. Then you wanna place your corned beef fat side down. After you put your first corned beef in, you're gonna wanna take some of your pickling. The packets are here, I'm gonna use those also, but I also use 1 tablespoon of pickling from a jar. And you're gonna wanna sprinkle that on top of that first piece. And then take one of your packets and throw that on top as well. Then you're gonna take your second one, because I'm doing 8 pounds of corned beef, fat down, and put that on top of the other piece of meat. Kind of where they can both best fit. This is an 8-quart, both of your corned beef inside the pressure cooker. You're gonna wanna take this last packet of seasoning and throw it in there. And you're going to make sure you add your 1 cup, I use chicken stock, and 1 cup of water. Just to really get that nice flavor. And try not to wash your seasoning away, because that's really gonna sink into the meat when it's cooked. Once you replace your lid on your pressure cooker, you're gonna let this cook for an hour and a half. So now, as you can see, the cabbage and the sauce have rendered. And I'm gonna show you a little bit closer so you can see, because we're about to throw this in the oven, okay? You're gonna take this and we're going to, this is a rind of the Parmesan. We're going to sprinkle some Parmesan on top, but not too much, because you want to save some for the end so it doesn't burn while it's cooking. And this is 1 cup of freshly grated Parmesan. Now, since I'm at the end of the Parmesan, I'm actually just going to stick the rind in there, because the saltiness of that Parmesan rind is really going to add a really nice flavor. We're going to pop this in the oven for about 45 minutes so it can finish cooking. If you like Brussels sprouts, it's going to caramelize and get kind of like a roasted topping, like Brussels sprouts do when you make them in the oven. And feel free to add bacon if you want to add bacon. Let's get back to our corned beef. Hey guys, so now we're ready for the corned beef. And oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Be careful, because the lid's definitely going to be hot. You want to take your tongs and take it out. And put it on the plate. Now for more tender, just cook it about 30 minutes longer in the pressure cooker. Everybody here is hungry, so couldn't wait. Now let me go over here and grab our cabbage. Our ground mustard will taste really great with it. Doesn't that just look delectable?
Yum!
So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna plate some of this wonderful corned beef, and then the potatoes are so tender. After you put the potatoes on the plate, you wanna take some of this wonderful cabbage, just cut some up. And put that on the plate there. And there you have it, corned beef and cabbage with red potatoes.
Hi everyone. Prepare the Irish old fashioned to pair with the corned beef and cabbage.
Have a good one, thank you.
Have a good one.